Okay. So Lafreniere Advisory tends to try to decide to do things together. For instance, how we would introduce Brock. We had a few ideas. The first being, in the face of how words fail to express the essence of Brock, that we would all come together up here and do an interpretive dance. So, Lafreniere Advisory. I'm just kidding. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So uncomfortable for everyone. The second, though, we thought was in a kind of you are what you eat way, and since Brock is one of his favorite things to eat is pasta, we would liken him to pasta. And Dave said Brock is like ziti because he's noticeable and distinct. Charles Thomas said Brock is like lasagna. He's always funny and never boring. I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Ultimately, we decided that neither of these really get at the heart of what we wanted to say about Brock, let alone how we wanted to introduce Brock. They were too obscure, they were too metaphorical, they were too silly. We wanted to say things straight. We wanted to say things plain. And we really wanted to express that Brock simply standing before you is a person of courage, passion, and benevolence. And I think someone who has taught us, the advisory, and I think all of us, much about what those things mean in our own lives. Here's Brock.
Thank you, Mr. Lafreniere, for everything that you've done for me these last 2 years. The past 2 years have been something that I never would have thought possible. If I had been asked at the start of my freshman year what my plans were for high school, I would have said that I would be at Western, a public high school in my hometown. I never thought that I'd be going away to a boarding school, even though both my parents are bishops. I never thought that I would be one. I want to talk through some of my favorite memories and times throughout high school and how they have helped shape me into the person I am today. A person of passion, a person with the courage to try something new, a person who cares for others. The best thing about memories is that they can be created almost anywhere in the world. Despite my whirlwind of a high school experience, transferring schools, and moving away from home, I've been able to have the opportunity to make some lasting memories that have stuck with me. So, starting with my freshman year, which was one of the most challenging years of my life, it wasn't as much of an academic aspect as it was the social aspect of everything. My freshman year started really well. I had a good group of friends, I liked almost all of my classes, and I was in a sport that I had mixed emotions about. The first semester was hard. Trying to manage everything was something I had done before, but now the coursework was more challenging. I wasn't in your typical public high school. I was accepted to be in the environmental studies program with Western Albemarle. I think that's where my enthusiasm and passion for environment started. I was able to learn things I wouldn't have had the opportunity to learn if I wasn't in that program, from learning about environmental biology to horticulture and everything in between. My classes weren't easy, and they pushed me to my limits. I had to find a way to make it all work. After the first semester, COVID struck, and we all had to leave. This taught me something hard to recognize, but important. You don't know when life can come to a stop or change very quickly. So take advantage of every moment and spend those moments with the people you love. My sophomore year started just like how freshman year ended, virtually. During the summer, the school told us we would go back to a hybrid version at the start of the year. That ended up not even happening. It wasn't until midway through that we started to go hybrid. But still, even with going in 2 days a week, it wasn't the same. Not being able to see your friends in person unless they were in school on the same day, which wasn't the case for me. I knew that I needed to change, but I didn't know what to do. So my plan stayed the same: to stay at Western for the rest of high school. These plans all changed at the end of my sophomore year. At the start of the summer, I was your typical sophomore. I had some of my best friends with me, sport I had mixed emotions about, rowing, and this would likely be the last relaxing time I would have before junior year would start. I didn't want to think about that at the time. I started to focus on what mattered at the moment: getting ready for one of my favorite things to do in the summer, going back to camp. Since I was in the 7th grade, I've always found the camp to be my home away from home in the summers. Nestled under Jump Mountain and only 10 minutes away from Lexington, Max Walton is the place where some of my favorite memories have been created. It wasn't until a month before junior year started that my family received a call about an opening position here at VES. The moment I stepped onto campus, I knew that this was the place for me. 2 weeks later, classes started. Thinking back to last year, many memories were created, from throwing chocolate chips at each other with friends during the weekend nights, to cooking up some really good food with Dave. While my junior year was difficult, I was able to make new friends and have some good times. If I was able to go back to the start of the year and tell my past self one thing, it would be that you want to make the best out of every moment and do the things you want to experience, because May of your senior year will come up faster than you would ever imagine. My senior year has been one of my best years of high school. I can't believe that as I'm standing up here, I'm also about to graduate. I don't know where the time has gone. The start of the year wasn't exactly what I expected. From college essays to worrying about deadlines, I focused so much on that part that I feel like I missed out on times when I could bond with my class. The classes I'm taking have, in my mind, helped me to become who I am today. From apes to experimental literature, thank you, Mr. Knabel, for all your suggestions and thoughts on my writing and ideas, whether they may be good or a slight ripoff. To ePure Learning Resources, where every day is a different day and you never know what I'm going to get into when I walk in. Thank you all so much. I am so grateful for many groups of people who have pushed me to my limits. As I look back, there's so many memories that I remember that it would just take a long time to tell. Just make sure that you don't wait for your senior year to try that one thing, whether it may be a play, a sport, or trying a grilled cheese sandwich topped with real maple syrup. I'm excited to announce my commitment to Roanoke College next fall. To end, I want to give some big thanks to some people who have helped me to be where I am today. First, to my parents. Thank you all for everything you guys have done for me these past 18 years. If you never came to Russia, I would probably not be standing in front of you all today. To my grandmother, Gigi. Thank you so much for being there when I needed it. From those weekly study hall calls to the UVA tailgates. I'm so thankful for all that you've done for me. I miss you, Gaga, but I know that you're listening in right now. To my siblings, Cole, Austin, thank you all for being there. I know that siblings fight, and I know we've had those times, but it's one of the things that I look forward to every time I come home. Cole, you've pushed me to be a better person, and even though you're better than me at Madden, I will smoke you in any racing game. Austin, you've been the best sister I could ask for. I can't believe that you're about to graduate and start high school. I can't wait to see what you both accomplish. To some of my best friends, from Charlottesville to here, thank you all for everything that you guys have done for me, and I can't even say how grateful I am for you. To the track team. Last year we had the best time, from La Vida, courtesy of Joe singing, and Weston and I cracking up, to states. I can't believe what we have accomplished, and to this year's track team, I'm so glad that I was able to race alongside you. I'm so glad that I'm able to race alongside you guys this year. To Lebo, Nancy, and the rest of my camp family, you all have been the best these last 7 summers. I can't thank you enough. To Ann Lachlan and Ann Souter, thank you for teaching me how to cook for 70 people. You don't know how much the lessons you taught me have carried into my school life. To my teachers, past and present, thank you for teaching and coaching me. All the advice you have provided has helped to influence my present achievements. To Mr. Bright and the Green Team, thank you all for everything, and I can't wait to see how this weekend turns out. To the best yearbook team I could have asked for, Nikita, Jana, Gabby, Jimmy, and Miss Gates. Thank you all for being some of the best people to be around every afternoon, from our excursions to having a laugh in Wyatt. Thank you, Gabby. I wouldn't think that a Danish should be warmed up. To Miss Lowe and Miss Sale, thank you all both for everything that you guys have done for me these past years. I can't thank you enough for all your support. To Mr. Lafreniere and the rest of my advisory, thank you all for everything. I can't thank you enough for all the conversations we've had. To Mr. Budden and the rest of my coaches, thank you. Mr. Budden, thank you for everything. It meant a lot to me this fall when you came and ensured I was okay after my crash. I still blame it on that rope. And to the senior class, thank you all so much. I can't believe that I'm able to walk across the stage and graduate with the best group. And seniors, let's not count down the days to graduation, so let's make it count. Thank you.